This is my 1976 Schwinn Suburban. Vintage single speeds have been gaining a lot of popularity in the last several years, so I decided to do my own conversion. I wanted to do a freewheel style conversion, and I picked up this Schwinn Suburban. This was originally a 10-speed. The only difference between the Suburban frames and the Varsity frames is the front chain guard tab on that crankshell there, which I wanted to go ahead and utilize for a chain guard once I shed that outer ring off the original front sprocket setup, which I'm running on there, the 39 tooth inner front sprocket, feeding back to a 16 tooth freewheel. This is an original black paint frame and fork combo. Have the tange hollow leg tubular fork with a chrome crown. I did an interesting brake conversion on here, something to set my bike out a little bit from the rest of them. When I had cut and flipped these off-brand bars to create these bull's horn bars, I have them set up on the factory 1976 stem, which has beautiful chrome headset. But anyways, I polished the brake levers, the original Suburban cruiser style handlebar brake levers, and I added this noodle to these Continental center pole style brakes to be able to keep the front on the left and the rear on the right. And you'll see that when a lot of guys do bull's horn conversion bicycles, they'll have their brakes flip-flopped because the front caliper has the squeeze portion on this side, and it's just easier for them to feed them backwards. And I wanted to keep my right on the rear and my front on the left, you know, as they traditionally are, instead of flip-flopping them and getting it confusing and all. When I took the brake levers to the buffing wheel, I also did the hubs. I laced this set of wheels. When I had built this bike, I had actually 6 lightweights at the time. I had chose the best set of rim hoops out of all of them, and this pair of rim hoops came off of a ladies Suburban that I doubt was ever really ridden. And I relaced them with hand-polished cadmium spokes, sat here polishing each one hand by hand. Laced them into these 1976 dated high flange buffed hubs. It's a beautiful wheel set. These are vintage tires. They're in really fair shape. They're roadworthy. They're very similar, but they're not exactly the same. They're both a centerline rib style tire, and they look great. You know, they have that vintage feel to them. Just really goes well with the rest of the package here. Also run the Continental rear brake. Got a center hang device here. Got the long style chrome clamp, chrome seat post, and this is one of the more desirable Schwinn road saddles that has come out through the years. You'll find these on the Continentals and higher lines. You have the dual embossed Schwinn logo on both sides. And topped off with the Schwinn tag on the rear. Also have the brackets here. We're making for 3 logos all the way around, and that's supported on a spring-loaded frame. Got the square rails on there. I wrapped the bull's horn bars in Schwinn tape. This set of crank arms is actually out of a Schwinn exerciser bike, which I coincidentally had a 1976 set of crank arms available, and they are super clean. The bottom bracket came from that exerciser as well. And I'm running these rat traps with the I don't know if these are zinc or cad plated, but they're not all rusted as most of them are when they're not the chrome plating. Pretty clean. I also stuck with the factory set as chain. Soaked that overnight in some engine degreaser. Scrubbed it, rinsed it, lubed it. No tight links, working just great. Old school original factory chain there. And, you know, that's one of the nice subtle touches that keeps it retro. The guard is something I did, and it's not perfect. You know, you'll see that there is a run in there, and it really kind of irked me, but whatever. That's the way it goes. I couldn't really, I did the best I could on that. I'm not a painter by trade, but this Town and Country Guard is kind of a unique piece because, well, it's neat, it has the kicked rear tail, but it's also a neat one model kind of guard because it's full length for the adult frames, yet it has the shorter front bracket on there to accommodate for the smaller 39 tooth ring, because the Town and Country came with the Swiss cheese sprocket or whatever. So it's a neat bike. Rides excellent, nice and smooth. I've had it for a couple of years. I got a couple other road bikes, and it's time to let this one go on down the road. But I've got a couple other things I'm going to be tossing in with it. I've got a rear carrier rack here. It's not a Schwinn rack, but it does have the bracket work here for the frame, and you know, these go on where the fender mount holes are on the rear dropouts. I've got two seats here. I've got this Schwinn gel seat. It's got a little, it's a little bit tattered. It's a comfortable saddle though. And also this all black next seat that has no rips or tears on it. You could easily black out that next with a black magic marker or something if you'd like a little wider saddle on there. And I've got two sets of handlebars. You know, enough bars here to suit any rider's style needs. Got the drop style handlebars. These are an off-brand set of bars, but they do have a set of original Schwinn levers on there. So got those, and this set of straight bar here. This these are off a Element mountain bike. You know, it's a department store mountain bike. They're in fair shape. You know, if the straight bar is more your gig, then got you covered. So I think that pretty much wraps it up. She's a neat little ride. Got a nice, beautiful head badge on the front there. I think it's just like mint. I recall that was something that I had changed too. I think that pretty much covers everything. Well, thanks for having a look.